Good morning, student. Myself, Dr. Asavari Asre, Professor and HOD in Department of Organ of Medicine at Anantrao Panse Homeopathic Medical College and Hospital, Alefata. Student, currently we are learning the lectures on homeopathic philosophy by Dr. J.T. Kent. And in this lecture, in this philosophy, we are learning the chronic diseases or theory of chronic diseases, chronic miasm, and we already completed miasm sora, syphilis, and in last lecture we finished the we learned the miasm psychosis, isn't it? And in miasm psychosis we learned that what are the concept of Dr. J.T. Kent regarding the miasm psychosis, isn't it? In last lecture we learned that whenever we prescribe any antipsychotic medicine to the patient according to the law of similia, then this case will revert, isn't it? And whenever the discharge started, then you may confirm that the patient is definitely the antipsychotic one and remedy is very much suitable to that particular patient. And this revert of the symptom or the whatever is the symptom, previous symptoms which are reappear again, it is very disgraceful for the patient, and patient complaining you regarding the this discharge from the penis, mucopurulent discharge from the penis, and that's why he complained you that these old symptoms are reappear. Then your duty is to only console your patient and educate your patient that it is a very good sign regarding his health, because whatever is a suppression is there because of some allopathic medicine and some antibiotics, his whole economy get disturbed, and the patient is suffering from more or less 10 to 15 years with various other complaints. And when he prescribed the antipsychotic medicine according to the symptom similarity, he feels better, and the sensation of feeling well, it is a good sign, it is a indication that patient is now on the path of cure. And that's why when you prescribe this, whenever these old symptoms are reappear, and you educate your patient, you console your patient that it is a very good sign, although there is a discharge, mucopurulent discharge from the penis, and this will be soon disappear, isn't it? In this in the previous lecture we learned regarding this now let us continue with the next paragraph. It is in the nature of gonorrhea to go to the surface in the earlier stage, and so when the catarrh comes on in a vigorous constitutions soon after the suppression of the discharge from the urethra, it may locate itself in the nose. But if the catarrh does not come on soon the constitution, it is too weak for the catarrh to represent the disease, and it will be represent on tipper tissue. Yes, whenever we prescribe this antipsychotic medicine, and most of the time whenever the patient received the suppressive treatment, that is the one opening or the suppressive treatment for the discharge from urethra, that this mucopurulent discharge, it is and at the layer of mucous membrane, this discharge gets suppressed. But it is a nature of the mother nature, that it is a characteristic feature of mother nature whenever the in order to, or it is, you can say it is a function of vital force, whenever our vital force has to make the balance and harmony of the all sensation and function, and as the because of the disease process, whenever the toxins are created, these are all eliminated very promptly from the body, and therefore the discharge set on. And but whenever the physician try to close this discharge or suppress this discharge, and whenever the one opening is closed, then nature or vital force open the another opening, and therefore the catarrhal discharge started from the nose, isn't it? And the n number of symptoms are also appear along with this catarrhal discharge from nose, isn't it? But it is occur in vigorous constitution, because this vigorous constitution or the vital force of this vigorous constitution is very much alert, and in order to keep save the body, in order to preserve the existence of life, such type of mechanism is created by vital force, isn't it? And therefore in vigorous constitution such catarrhal discharges are produced. Then what happened in weak constitution? The person or the patient who has very weak vital force, or the reaction of the vital force is not so much vigorous, then this suppression may be resulted into the very serious, and internal organs are get affected by this miasm psychosis, isn't it? And therefore Kent told you that it is the nature of gonorrhea to go to the surface in the earlier stage. Yes, at the surface area, at the that is the skin and mucous membrane. And so when the catarrh come on in vigorous constitution, soon after the suppression of the discharge from urethra, it may locate itself in the nose, isn't it? Have you got this? But if the catarrh does not come on soon, the constitution is too weak for the catarrh to present the disease, and it will be represent on deeper tissue. Then in spite of or the nose or the mucous membrane or the catarrhal discharge from the nose, it is very minor symptom, isn't it? Minor symptom means it is not much important organ get involved in this. The respiratory system, the mucous membrane of the respiratory system get affected, specifically of the in form of nasal catarrh, isn't it? But this condition occur in a whenever the vigorous and robust constitution, while the weak one is not able to respond so vigorously, so promptly to the suppression of the discharge, and therefore the internal organ get affected. Let us learn the next. The Bright disease may come breaking down of the lungs, breaking down of the liver, rheumatic affection of the worst form, finally killing the patient. Then the important organs get affected by this because of the suppressive effect of this mucopurulent discharge from penis, or the suppressive treatment or the antibiotic treatment. How these important organs get affected? Bright disease may come, that is the inflammatory disease of the or the nephritis, you can say glomerular nephritis is there, kidney is affected, breaking down of the lungs, lung get affected, breaking down of the liver. Yes, there is liver also get affected, and you know this liver is very important organ, and when it get affected, the whole economy get disturbed. Then rheumatic affection of the worst form. Yes, this rheumatic affection is very painful condition of the joint and cartilages, and finally killing the patient. Yes, this weak constitution because of the suppressive treatment resulted into the death of the patient in spite of the cure. In spite of cure, but with this antibiotic patient, there is a death of patient. It is only in the earlier stage that it become catarrhal. That is the earlier stage, that is at the first layer of suppression, this catarrhal stages appeared. The man thinks he is cured and he has escaped the outward manifestation because his constitution is not very vigorous. This man thinks he is cured. Yes, he has escaped the outward manifestation. As this mucopurulent discharge from the penis get disappear because of the antibiotic treatment, the patient thinks that he get cured because the constitution is not very vigorous, but the disease goes on in advanced state until it attacks the blood and he become anemic. That means sometimes these along with this catarrhal discharge, sometimes this blood or this is also there is a symptoms appear at the cardiovascular system and the attacks blood and become anemic. Let us take the next paragraph. Now, if in this condition he marry, yes, in this stage, if he marry, his wife does not get the catarrhal state. Yes, because the contagion is contracted in the bladder trouble, but she gets the anemic state. Yes, because she received disease as she offered by her husband, isn't it? His husband is in a state of anemia along with the constitutional symptom of miasm psychosis. That is, her miasm psychosis is still acting, and the infection that he considered he is get free from the infection of psychosis, it is not condition like that. While if he get married in this such condition, he may transfer or he transferred his miasm to his wife and she get the anemic state. You may call it a secondary state if you like. Yes, you can say it is a secondary stage, but it is really because the person is totally symptomless, only the anemia is there, that apparently the patient is healthy and there is a not, you can say healthy, but it is a not very troublesome symptoms are there, and you may call it a secondary state if like, but it is really the more ulterior form of the disease. From this anemic state, it spread into all function of the body. Yes, from, or you can say it is a anemia is not just it is underlying and developing continuously and affect the whole function of the body. The woman does not get the catarrhal state because the contagion is contracted in the woman at the stage which the husband has reached. That means at this stage the husband has reached, she received the disease at this stage. If he has passed the catarrhal stage, what she gets in beyond the catarrhal stage. Yes, the woman does not get the catarrhal stage because the contagion is contracted in the woman at the stage which the husband is reached. At which stage the husband is reached, he received from the stage and further development is there, which mix with her own miasm. If he has passed the catarrhal stage, what she gets in beyond the catarrhal stage? She gets fibrinous condition, inflammation of the uterus and the soft tissue and low-grade changes in the kidney. Yes, further after receiving this miasm from her husband, she developed beyond this catarrhal stage and she gets the fibrinous condition, inflammation of uterus and soft tissue and low-grade changes in the kidney. This all important organ get affected by the miasm psychosis. She may go on and have any peculiar constitutional disease. She may go on and have any peculiar constitutional disease that the woman of today is subject to. Yes, she developed a very peculiar type of constitutional disease. Her whole economy get disturbed after marriage, and when she get contacted or when she established the sexual contact with that infected person, get infected who has a previous history of the gonorrheal infection, it is the consequences are observed on his wife, and she become and she develop a very peculiar constitutional disease. It is rather strange that it affects the soft tissue and not the bones. Yes, the target organ, every myxome has its own target organ. For example, Psora has or the very you can say the favorable organs are the skin and mucous membrane. Similarly, the bone and cartilages, it is the favorable area for the myxome syphilis. Similarly, these soft tissues are the target organ for the psychosis, and therefore it is rather strange it is affect the soft tissue and not the bones, and therefore or visceral symptoms, visceral organs get affected. Syphilis affect the soft tissue and bone. Psora affect the whole economy, nothing escape, it causes a general breakdown. Yes, Psora create the functional changes and whole economy is under the influence of myxome Psora. Still there are no such very grievous changes, very severe changes, or say very irreversible pathology develop because of the myxome Psora. While the psychosis, in case of psychosis, soft tissue get affected and the extra growth is observed, and the hypo and hypersecretions are there, and we observe at soft tissue. Let us take the next paragraph. Sometime in the man it does not take the catarrhal form but produces inflammation of the testes, or it may affect the rectum. Yes, after whenever the patient received the suppressive treatment, that is antibiotic treatment for the infection of gonorrhea, chronic gonorrhea, and according to the nature you already learned that these opening are established in vigorous type of constitution, and there is a nasal catarrh established, isn't it? But the constitution is weak in case of the patient who belongs to the very weak constitution and not much vigorous reaction of the vital force, then the internal organ get affected. Now, it is an example of that. Sometime what happened, because of the suppressive treatment, the it produces the inflammation of the testes. Yes, testes get affected and may resulted into the you can say the abnormal growth of the or abnormal development of the sperm may result into the infertility further, or it may affect the rectum, the very nearest organ from where the infection enter through penis, and this because of the suppressive effect the disease travel inside and located in the testes and sometime in the rectum. Again, if you go to the bedside of a man who has used strong injection for the purpose of suppressing a gonorrheal discharge. So, whenever you visited to some patient who received a very strong injection for the purpose of suppressing a gonorrheal discharge, and you find him in bed writhing and turning, tossing and twisting with the pain. Yes, the very severe type of pain which make the patient restless, and he continuously change the position, and because of the painful condition of the body and joint, and only relief for him is to keep in continuous motion. Yes, it is a restlessness at the mental level because of the pain, and as he continually change his position in order, because there is a relief by changing the position because of the continued motion. The pains are tremendous. They are rending and tearing from the head to foot. If he can get up, he will walk the floor night and day. Look, this type of severe symptom, a severe pain in whole body, and patient behave like this. There is a tremendous restlessness and patient feels better by continued motion. There is seldom much swelling with this rheumatism. It seems to be along the sheath of the nerves and is relieved by motion. Yes, in this condition, the swelling of the there is no much inflammatory condition of the swelling of the rheumatism is there, while this sheath of the nerves is there, and therefore because of the irritability of nerve there is pain and which relieved by the motion. The superficial physician will say, here is a patient relieved by motion, here is a case of Rustox. Yes, by reading this condition or by reading this case, we also think about the Rustox, isn't it? Because there is a amelioration of the pain because of the continued motion. But Kent called it is a superficial physician. Yes, whenever we concentrate only the joint and only the modality concerned with the joint, and we totally ignore the patient as a whole, and we select the Rustox, isn't it? But it is not a condition every time. This Rustox will cure your patient. It is because it is very superficial view of the case. You give Rustox and then find it does not do a single thing for the man. Yes, after the prescription of this Rustox, you observe that there is no relief of any complaint at all. But remember, when you have studied psychosis in its innermost nature, Rustox is not an antipsychotic remedy. Yes, if you take the very deep case taking of the patient, you know that patient had the gonorrheal infection and received the suppressive treatment, and which is resulted into the this painful rheumatism, isn't it? Swelling of the bone, which has a peculiar modality which is ameliorated by the pain is ameliorated by the continued motion. But when you prescribe the Rustox according to the modality, and whenever you consider only the particular symptom of the joint, there is no relief because patient is psychotic in nature, and Rustox is not antipsychotic remedy and will not help this patient in his restlessness. It will not help his awful distress and anxiety. Yes, this Rustox is not at all suitable remedy for the patient because there is a miasmatic background, is the psychosis, suppression of this psychosis, suppression of the discharge resulted into the miasm psychosis, and Rustox is not an antipsychotic remedy, therefore it is not established the symptom similarity, the relationship with the patient. It is not exactly similitude. Therefore, there is no relief. This state will go on, and when it has attacked him so violently, his tendons will begin to contract. What happens? This state will go on, and when it has attacked him so violently, his tendon will begin to contract. Yes, deformity occurs. There is a tendons are get contracted. They will shorten. The muscle of the calves will become sore, and muscles of the thighs will become so sore that they cannot be touched or handled. Yes, note down the severity of the symptom is that there is a contraction of the tendon and soreness, severe soreness occur that it cannot be touched or handled. Sometimes there is infiltration of the muscles and hardness. Yes, it is infiltrated inflammatory changes are occurred in the muscle and hardness is there. And this soreness extend to the bottom of the feet so that it is impossible for the patient to walk. Yes, this soreness extend to the bottom of the feet so that it is impossible for the patient to walk. It is very painful condition for the patient. The whole body gets sore. There is sensitivity is very much increased and it is cannot be touched or handled. He is compelled to sit or lie on crawl around on his hands and knees, so violent or some cases. What is the position of the patient is there? It is crawling condition because he is compelled to sit or lie or crawl around on his hands and knees, so violent for some cases because the pain up to the toes. These cases will go on for years. I have known external application of the allopathic physician to be applied to these sore feet and limbs for weeks and months and even years, and yet they give no relief. But a correct prescription made by a homeopath, carefully taking in account the covering the whole nature of the psychosis. Yes, for this affection at the soft tissue, that is the joints get affected and the very soreness of the whole body up to the feet, that patient cannot walk, and this condition is going on, and the allopathic physician treat him for weeks and months and even years, but yet they give no relief because whatever is a proper medication there, this condition is occur because of the suppression of the gonorrheal discharge, isn't it? This suppression is occur because of the mucopurulent discharge from the penis, and the allopathic physician totally ignore this. He thought that the disease get cured and patient also thought that disease get cured, but there is no relationship between this suppressive treatment and this situation which is presenting now, isn't it? But a correct prescription made by homeopath, and the homeopathic prescription, the homeopathic physician should take the consideration of this suppressive treatment, and by observing all these symptoms he know that the patient is a psychotic one because the symptom of the psychosis is exhibited by the patient very characteristically, and therefore we select the antipsychotic medicine which covering the whole nature of psychosis, isn't it? We'll take the soreness out of the feet and bring back the gonorrheal discharge. Yes, because of the antipsychotic remedy. What is the effect after administration of the psychotic remedy? The case will get revert and old symptom reappear. And whatever is the symptom which are appear after the suppressive treatment, these are now there is a relief of all these complaints while the gonorrheal discharge set back. The return of the old symptom means recovery. Yes, underline this. The return of the old symptom means recovery. It is very good sign. It is a confirmative sign of cure. The reappearance of the old symptom, because it indicates that your remedy is correct, your potency is also correct, patient is curable, that is the disease is also in a curable state, and it revert the case, and definitely the patient may reach to the healthy state. When the discharge comes back, the relief of these horrible symptoms comes, and do not consider any patient cured until the discharge is brought back. That up till and until the discharge is not returned, the patient never get considered as a cured, isn't it? Because although it is a homeopathic medicine, but not able to revert the case, not able to bring forth the appearance of the old symptom, and it is also the suppressive treatment as the medicine is homeopathic. What is the importance of this reappearance of the old symptom? the return of the old symptom means recovery. Then after administration of homeopathic remedy, the symptom must be returned, old symptom must be returned. It is important. Let us take the next paragraph. With reference to the woman in whom you know that the contagion has taken place in the stage in which it existed in the husband, supposing she has inflammation of a fibrinous character and goes into the very worst form of anemia with all the sallowness and waxiness and patchy condition of the skin and the withering the organic trouble. If a homeopathic prescription to be made that is truly antipsychotic, you need not expect that a gonorrheal discharge will appear in her case. It is not necessary, she can get well without it. Yes. Another example, in the previous example, we know that the patient directly exposed to the infection, isn't it? The patient has the primary manifestation of gonorrhea, then patient received the antibiotic treatment and suppressed the discharge, and then patient developed a very severe type of joints get affected and there is a great soreness all over the body that which is reach up to the feet and patient cannot walk also, isn't it? And when we prescribe a proper antipsychotic remedy to the patient, then there is a reappearance of the old symptom. But whenever the psychosis is transferred to his wife and his whole economy also get disturbed, and the miasm psychosis produces n number of symptoms, isn't it? This contagion has taken place in the stage in which it existed in the husband, isn't it? And then further development occurred in that wife. Supposing she has inflammation of a fibrinous character, this fibrinous infiltration is there and goes inflammation of the soft tissue and goes into a very worst form of anemia, and very worst form of anemia is also developed and it is affected or manifested at the skin level. There is a sallowness, waxiness and patchy condition of the skin and withering the organic trouble. And in that condition, by considering these all psychotic presentation of the patient, female patient, who was not directly exposed to the gonorrheal infection, but she get it transferred from the suppressive miasm from her husband, and therefore at this stage he transferred to his wife, and then there is a further development in that particular body of the wife. If the homeopathic prescription be made by considering all these symptoms truly antipsychotic, you need not expect the gonorrheal discharge. But in that case, you never expected from the revert of this case and started the gonorrheal discharge. And you do not expect that gonorrheal discharge will appear in her case. It is not necessary. She cannot get well without it. Yet she can get well without it. Without appearance of the old symptom, she can get well. If she had no discharge, she can get well without its return. The reverse order of the symptom in her case means only the reverse order of those she has had. Yes. Here in this case, what is our observation? The reverse of the order of the symptom in her case means only the reverse order of those she has had. That means after the transformation of the psychotic miasm from husband to wife, how she developed the symptom, and this chronological order, the first symptom, then affect the and then there is anemia, and then the rest of the whole soft tissue get affected. this chronological order of the development of the symptom in her body, we only note it down, and the return or the reappearance of the symptom is accordance with her own constitution, isn't it? She may not have had the primary, but all that patient has had, she must go back through stage by stage and symptom by symptom. That means ज्या स्टेजपासून त्या पेशंटला त्यांनी तो रिसिव्ह केलेला आहे डिसीज, आणि तिथून जसं तिचं डेव्हलपमेंट सुरू झाली आहे, ज्या क्रोनॉलॉजिकल ऑर्डरमध्ये ओरिजिन डेव्हलपमेंट ऑफ द डिसीज झालेलं आहे, त्याच्याच प्रमाणे त्याचं डिसअपिअरन्स ऑफ द सिम्पटम होईल, इजंट इट? म्हणजे जे लास्ट आलेले सिम्पटम असतील ते पहिले डिसअपिअर होतील, आणि जे सर्वात पहिले आलेले सिम्पटम असतील ते सर्वात शेवटी जातील. ह्या स्टेजमध्ये आपण तिच्याकडनं रिअपिअरन्स ऑफ द डिस्चार्ज, गनोरियल डिस्चार्ज आपण एक्सपेक्ट करू शकत नाही, कारण ते सिम्पटम तिला आलेलेच नव्हते. म्हणून द वुमन इज द मोस्ट ग्रेव्हियस सफरर. शी इज अन इनोसंट पर्सन, and when there are anemic conditions and a going down steadily in the wife that has come on a few years after marriage, you should always be suspicious of this disease. At least do not allow it to pass unless you have made a suitable investigation of the matter. Yes, most of the time Kent told you that woman is the most grievous sufferer, very serious sufferer, because she got married with that person who had the previous history of gonorrheal infection and also suppressive treatment, antibiotic treatment, and now he is symptomless, or the symptom of the gonorrhea is not appear there. There is no penile discharge, mucopurulent discharge is there, and therefore the man felt that he was healthy, isn't it? And that's why, and his physician also know that he was healthy because there is no any other symptom of the gonorrhea. While that condition, when he got married with a lady who is totally healthy, while she get this infection from her husband, because whatever is the suppression of the gonorrheal discharge is there, but still the miasm is there, and therefore it transferred from him to her whenever the sexual contact get established. Therefore she is an innocent person. She don't know about the previous status of her husband, and because of the ignorance, Kelt told that it is an innocent person. And when there are anemic condition and going down steadily in the wife, but after 1 year and 18 months, you can say 1.5 year, the healthy wife steadily her health was going down. Paleness is there is sallow face, waxy face is there, and anemia is established, involvement of the soft tissue, there is uterine pain, the painful menstruation, and all these symptoms are established, and there is a going down steadily in the wife that has come on a few years after marriage. You should always be suspicious of this disease, and whenever we observe such condition in your patient, female patient, then you definitely suspected for the history of the suppression of the gonorrhea in her husband, isn't it? And ask if it possible, if it allowed by the patient, and at least do not allow it to pass unless you have made a suitable investigation of the matter. That you have to investigate for that. Don't exclose this information to the patient, but try to treat her with your antipsychotic medicine, and then in a favorable condition you may ask the history of the suppressive gonorrhea to her husband. Send for the husband, talk to him quietly, tell him you want to know whether he has gone through any of the specific disease in his younger days, that it shall be considered in confidence. And yes, it is very important communication with the patient. You have to take the confidence of the husband of her, and very confidently and confidentially also talk quietly with him. Tell him you want to know whether he has gone through any specific disease in younger days, that it shall be considered in confidence, isn't it? When you are the family physician, that must be done. Yes, it is very important regarding the history of patient, and you must know the history of the patient for the prescription. Let us take the next paragraph. With fear and trembling, he will likely tell you the whole story. He has gone into his marriage with a degree of innocence, because he was advised by the physician that what he has had will not affect his wife. Kent told you that with fear and trembling, he will likely tell you the whole story. Sometime whenever your rapport is developed with the patient, such type of condition is always happen with you. Then, in spite of fever and trembling, he can able to tell you the whole story regarding his infection of the gonorrhea before marriage. But he also told you the history that he was advised by his physician that what he has had will not affect his wife. And he also told the physician also advised that you can safely marry because this is not affect your wife, and that's why he got married, and he told the whole history regarding his infection. When you have discovered that this state in the family, watch their children. They will be few, for psychosis very commonly makes a woman sterile. Yes, Ken told you that whenever the female receive the or wife receive the infection of the gonorrhea from his husband, it act on the soft tissue. It definitely affect the visceral organ and the reproductive system, and affected into the sterility of the woman. And therefore, if you want to study the effect of the psychosis on children, they will be few. The conditions are very much few, but if you observe, we find very typical manifestation of the miasm. Or if she has a few children, you will find in them a strong tendency to marasmus. Yes, again there is a soft tissue affected, and the psychosis get inheritance and transfer to the child, isn't it? And it resulted in the marasmus in child in the first year, or in the first or second summer, a strong tendency to consumption. And there is whenever child grow, the marasmus, it is a very typical destruction of all the muscles, and protein malnutrition is there, and it is a tendency to consumption, that there is a tubercular infection is there. Or you will find a withering and old appearance of the face, because of the poor development of the muscles. There is a poor absorption and assimilation. There is no proper development, the child is not chubby and healthy, but it is an old appearance of the face. Any one of these three miasms may predispose this child to this thing. But when the child is waxy and anemic, is accustomed to have lintering stool, then in this type of child, marasmus like these have a waxy and anemic, and accustomed to have lintering stool which containing the undigested food particles. which indicate that there is no proper digestion as well as assimilation and absorption, and that's why protein malnutrition is there, resulting into marasmus. Accustomed to have enteric stool has no digestion. When every hot spell brings on complaints that look like cholera infantum. Yes, cholera infantum is there and does not grow, does not thrive. You have right to suspect it is a psychotic case, for psychosis is the most frequent cause. Yes, whenever such type of history we observe in a family, the typical psychotic, there is a typical inheritance of the psychotic miasm and manifested in the child. Let us take the next paragraph. This disease you see does not manifest itself by many eruptions, except those of a watery character. It does not manifest itself by eruption like syphilis and sora, but operates by bringing about a rheumatic state and anemic condition in the blood. Yes, in this manifestation, there is a expect to those Varti character. The condylomatous growth is the primary manifestation of the psychosis, but as there is a venereal chancre appear in the syphilis and the vesicular type of eruption develop in sora, it is not very characteristic skin eruption is there, while the soft tissue, that is a rheumatic state, and the anemic condition is developed. Takes hold of the blood. It takes hold of the blood first and confirm to the subject who are advanced in deep-seated trouble, subject to epithelioma. While the deep-seated disease is developed like blood and subject to epithelioma. They are specially subject to Bright disease and acute phthisis. Yes, the kidney get affected and acute phthisis is there, the tuberculosis develop. If they have pneumonia, it is likely to end in a breakdown of some sort of lung. If they have any acute disease of a prolonged character like typhoid, the recovery is always slow. It is a very characteristic symptom of psychosis developing child. Manifestly, it is a good thing to know the history of patient, all the peculiarities of the life of a patient. Yes, you have to know the peculiarities in order to select the most similar remedy, characteristics, feature of the patient which individualize your patient. It is important to know whether the patient is syphilitic or psychotic. You know that everybody is sorry, but those that have lived a proper life have escaped the two contagious disease, which man acquired in the first place by his own seeking. Yes, note it down. Everybody is sorry. Yes, sorry, there is a dominancy of the soric miasm each and every person. But because of his wrong thinking, and evil thought, or you can say, and act accordingly, this corruption at the mental level, whenever it exhibited at the physical level, the man acquired these two contagious diseases. Two contagious diseases means syphilis and psychosis. It is a disease which is because of the wrong thinking, or you can say it is a evil thinking and evil action of the man whenever it got exposed to the impure caution. When a patient has gone to the end of typhoid or some lingering disease, you know that he is sorry. But if you also know that he is syphilitic, that he is psychotic, you can conduct these convalescence into a speedy recovery, and if he denies these things, you may be puzzled. Then any infectious disease is there like typhoid, then it is very you can say lingering convalescence period, very slow recovery is there, and his convalescence into the speedy recovery, and if he denies this thing, you can be maybe puzzled. The psychotic patient may go into a state to do nothing and decline at the end of a typhoid fever. convalescence will not be established. He will lie with an aversion to food. He does not react, he does not repair, there is no tissue making, no assimilation, there is no vitality. He lies in a sort of semi-quiescent state. There is no convalescing in the matter. If you know he is psychotic patient, he must have an antipsychotic remedy. Then he will begin to rally. Then it is ready for the speedy recovery after the antipsychotic remedy. If a syphilitic patient must have an antisyphilitic remedy. If neither of these miasms are present, a remedy looking towards the soric state will cause him to rally. If there is no symptoms observed of the psychosis or syphilis, then and there is no speedy convalescence is there, very lingering recovery is there, then you can, if both miasm or the patient not representing the both miasms, syphilis and psychosis, then you can prescribe you have to prescribe the antisoric remedy. The nature of these cases must be kept in view. You must remember that these chronic miasms are present in economy, and after an acute illness very often have to be fought. Yes, whenever any chronic miasms are there which are influence the whole economy, there is not a single cell remain behind without the influence of this miasm, isn't it? And whenever there is any acute illness, you know acute illness is a transient explosion of latent sora, and after this acute illness there is the underlying miasm which psychosis or syphilis, it very often have to fought. Then you have to, after the acute attack of the illness, you have to prescribe the anti-miasmatic remedy. It is a very suitable time. If this is not known, many patients will gradually sink and die for apparent want of vitality to convalescence. If you don't have a knowledge how to handle these acute illnesses of the miasmatic sora and psychotic, syphilitic and psychotic and also soric patient, then after the acute illness many patients will gradually sink and die for apparent want of vitality to convalescence. There is no vitality to fight or to combat with the disease force. Of course, an antipsychotic treatment for the infant will bring back, as you will readily see, only that stage which the infant began with. It will not bring out a discharge in the infant. You can prescribe the antipsychotic remedy whenever we observe the dominancy of this miasm psychotic or have a history of psychosis inheritance in the child. The infant has only the interior nature of the disease and has not the primary or outmost form of it. You are not expected the set forth of the discharge or reappearance of the suppressed discharge which has a history in his previous generation, isn't it? You will also remember another thing, that these infants when they grow up are increasingly sensitive to psychosis, that they are already prepared for the psychotic gonorrhea where the first exposure comes. Yes, such type of patient are very sensitive to psychosis, and that they are already prepared for psychotic gonorrhea where whenever the first exposure comes. The susceptibility is led by his inheritance. Yes, it is a sensitivity because of the because there is a previous history of this miasm psychosis, and therefore the susceptibility is already established, is led by his inheritance, just as the susceptibility to sora is led by our parents and the susceptibility to syphilis is led by our parents. This susceptibility or this miasm, sora, psychosis or syphilis, we are we are so susceptible because we got it in our inheritance, isn't it? Whether if the sora is transferred from one generation to another, then the person get susceptible to sora. If the psychosis is transferred from father to the child, then the child may be susceptible to the psychotic miasm, psychotic infection you can say, and similarly the syphilitic susceptibility is created, which we received from our parents. Man can only have an attack in his natural lifetime. Man can only have one attack in his natural lifetime of one of the three chronic miasm. प्रत्येक माणसाला त्याच्या जीवनामध्ये हे तीन पैकी जो एक मायझम आहे त्याचा फक्त एकदाच इन्फेक्शन ची पॉसिबिलिटी असते. अ मॅन कॅनॉट टेक सिफिलिस ट्वाइस, ही कॅनॉट टेक सायकोसिस ट्वाइस, ही कॅनॉट टेक सोरा ट्वाइस. दिस इज नॉट नोन. अ मॅन when asked how many times he has had gonorrhea, will say about half dozen times, but only one of this was psychotic. Yes, it is regarding the infection of acute gonorrhea. The acute gonorrhea can occur while the psychotic means whenever it is a chronic gonorrhea. But only one of these was psychotic. The psychotic constitution cannot be taken a second time. Once there is a psychotic constitution established, that is because of the suppressive treatment, then after that he not received the same type of chronic psychotic infection, or it remain lifelong. One attack give immunity to that person forever. After that means once he get the infection, and whether it suppressed or whether it is not, whether he not received treatment, but he one attack given immunity to that person forever after. The offspring becomes increasingly susceptible to all the miasms the more they become developed in the human race. The more they become complicated with each other, the more the human race becomes susceptible to acute and epidemic diseases. Yes, it is very important regarding today's condition that it is a epidemic diseases, isn't it? Because whole human being or the whole human on the earth, because of the complicated miasm, complication of the miasm, when sora added with psychosis added with syphilis, or syphilis added with soric one, sora added to the syphilis one, and these combinations of the miasms, these are all transferred in inheritance to the next generation, and therefore at this stage on the earth, we all are more in these miasms are in a complicated stage, which each other the more the human race becomes susceptible. Therefore the human race becomes susceptible to acute and epidemic disease. Therefore we frequently, or we are more susceptible to receiving all these miasmatic expression, or the acute manifestation, or acute, we are become a victim of acute disease and the epidemic disease, because our vitality is very much poor. We are more susceptible to the various type of diseases. Now we have a general survey on chronic miasms. Chronic miasm is we generally we have to consider how the effect of the miasm on human race, isn't it? It is regarding the Kent's lecture, the 21st lecture of the Kent, that is a chronic diseases, psychosis. We already finished the miasm sora, how the miasm sora is developed. Then we learn the syphilis from Kent philosophy. Then we learn the miasm syphilis from H. A. Robert philosophy, and then we learn the integrated concept, isn't it? Like the integrated concept from Dr. Hahnemann, Kent and H. A. Robert. Similarly, we already finished this Kent philosophy. In next lecture, we will continue the miasm psychosis from H. A. Robert, and you must know what are the views of this miasm of H. A. Robert, isn't it? Okay, thank you.